Welcome back, Cat 5 class. We're going to go over problem 3-35. Problems are getting a little bit more challenging. All right, so we're going to draw our front view first for this isometric view, this part. There's a line missing here. As you can see, there's an object line missing and our green center lines. Okay, so let's take a look at the 3D model. Okay, let me first go to ISO view. There it is. And just a reminder, these tangent lines, we do not draw them. Physically, we don't see them as you transition from a planar surface to a cylindrical shape where there's tangency. So these tangent lines we do not draw. All right, so let's take a look at the front view. Okay, so we're missing this object line and we're missing the green center line on the AutoCAD file. So let's go back to AutoCAD, or let's go to AutoCAD. All right, so here's the front view. Roll in a little bit, roll the wheel to zoom in, hold on to the wheel to pan. All right, so now we're going to add our visible object line. Okay, so we are in the visible object line. Okay, so use line command. So from this corner here, we're going to click and we're going to connect to the arc. But where do we connect with the arc? Well, you can always look at the side view. You can see it lines up with this vertex, right? But what if this line wasn't there? Hey teacher, what if this line wasn't there yet? And we were starting this from scratch and we didn't have that line available to us. All right, so what you're gonna do is, before you click, in the command line, we're gonna type in TAN, tangency. If you have a dynamic input on, like this, you can simply type in TAN for tangency, TAN, okay? Let me turn off dynamic input. Notice how that's off now. So in the command line, I'm going to type in TAN for tangency, just like you're getting a tan on a beautiful day on the beach, right? TAN, and hit enter. So now it's going to look for tangency. See that green tangency symbol? It looks like the Green Lantern ring, right? Okay, so, but we're going to go to the arc, not the circle. See how it lights up? On yours, it may be very tiny because of your settings. I changed my settings so I can see the object snaps at a larger scale. Okay, so you can see it's even telling me tangency. So just click. Once you see that tangency, just go ahead and click. And it made a tangent. Okay, and right click, enter, and there it is. Okay, so we have this line tangent to the arc. All right, hit escape and you'll see that it lines up with this one, right? Lines up with this line. The top end point lines up with our top end point here. Okay, so hit escape to deselect. All right, now let's draw our green center lines. Green center layer. Okay, so I know some of you want to use the center mark, so we'll go to Annotate, Tab, go to Center Mark. And once again, if there's some toolbars or panels here that you don't see, if you don't see some of the panels that I have here, you can always right-click on any icon, and you can go to Panels and turn them on. Not all of them are turned on, so especially on some of the other tabs, so you may need to go in and look for that panel. Okay, so this is the center lines panel. All right, so click center mark and click the circle, right? There it is. Oh, click the circle. I think I'm misclicking. What if I try the arc? Okay, so, oh, I'm in the wrong layer. I thought I was in the right layer. Let me hit escape. Let me go back. Class. Oh, I was in the wrong layer. So I was adding center lines to the construction layer. I picked the wrong layer. Let me go to center layer. There it is. Okay, let's go back to Annotate, Center Mark. Okay, so let me click on the circle and there it is. Okay, so a lot of you think, okay, I'm done. And it's actually, no, it's not done. You have to go beyond the arc. Okay, so let me hit escape to get out of the command. Okay, so you could have done the arc instead of the circle. That's okay. We can always use the grips. Okay, to extend. I'm going to turn off object snap so I have more freedom to locate that endpoint. Okay, so always extend beyond the arc. We can stop here, but that's a little too tight, so I'll just go a little bit further beyond, which is fine. And hit escape. Okay, so there's our green center line. If you want to extend this vertical one downward some more, it's up to you, or you can just leave it alone. All right, so there it is, center mark for the circle and the semicircle. All right, so we're done with the front view, I believe. Okay, so let's go on to the side view, and then we'll hit the top view. Okay, so side view. Okay, so let's take a look at the side view. Okay, there it is. Okay, so we already have some of these object lines. A reminder, we do not draw tangent lines. The only way where it's acceptable is in an isometric view. Isometric view, it's okay to include tangent lines, but in a drawing, an isometric view is just considered reference only. So when the machinist, let's take a look at the answer key, or the inspector is looking at your drawing, they're going to focus on these three views. The dimensions are missing. Later on, we'll do dimensions. And the isometric view is just reference only, and it would not have the dimensions here in the isometric view. They would be in the front, top, and side view. Okay, so isometric views are considered reference only. It's only a visual to help you visualize the other three. And also, if you wanted to draw the tangent lines here, you may in the isometric view. That's the only area. There's a few exceptions, but typically you don't put it on the front, top, and side view or other orthographic views. All right, so let's go back to AutoCAD. Okay, so let's go back to the 3D model. Take a look at the side view. Okay, now this is a solid edge here between the yellow and the cyan, so we need to draw this solid line. We do not draw this one. Okay, and we also need to draw the hole going through, right? So we're going to draw hidden lines and a green axis line to represent that hole. But let's first draw this object line. Okay, so let's go to Home tab. Go to Visible Layer, Line Command, and from this corner here, let me turn on Object Snap. From this vertex here, we're going to go across, and that's where we have that edge, right? There it is. Right-click Enter. And I should turn on Ortho. Forgot to turn on Ortho. Okay, there it is. All right, so now we need to represent the hole. Okay, so let's go to the Hidden Layer. Draw our hidden lines from the top quadrant of make sure it's the top of the circle. There it is. There's that top quadrant. Roll the wheel to zoom in and out, and hold the wheel and pan over. Okay, so the hole goes all the way through. There it is. And right-click Enter. And same thing at the bottom. Red hidden line from the bottom quadrant. Go across. And here it's going to overlap the visible, thicker white object line. Click and right-click Enter. All right, so we're going to take these hidden lines and shorten them using the grips. Again, it runs through the whole thickness or depth of the side view. Do the same thing with this one. Okay, and hit Escape on the keyboard. Upper left corner key on the keyboard to escape the command. All right, so, or to deselect in this case. All right, so now we're missing the green center line. Okay, so let's go to the green center layer, Line Command, and obviously we're going to go off of the center. You do not want to touch the center lines between the views, right? And they're supposed to be separate. If you're drawing one green center line going from the front to the side view, that is incorrect. Okay, they're supposed to be kept separate. Okay, so there it is, our green center line going across. And click and right-click Enter to exit. Okay, there's our green center line. Okay, so let's take a look at once again, our side view. And we do not draw this line, that tangent line, nor this one, because in real life you don't see them. If I turn off the edges, it'll just be a smooth transition. You don't see any sharp edges. Okay. And I think we got everything else. All right, so now we can move over to the top view. So let's take a look at the top view. Okay, so top view, just like the side view, we need the hole, right? We have that salmon colored hole. It goes all the way through. And we have these object lines here, right? Do not draw this tangent line. Okay, so let's go ahead and complete the top view. Let's first do the hole. Okay, so let's get the hole out of the way. It's a lot easier, right? Okay, so let's go to the hidden. Well, since we're in the center line, let's take care of the center line first. Let's draw the center line. And again, it's off the center of the hole. I should have put more space between the views. This is way too tight. I want to put a little gap between this green center line and the front view and our new one. Okay, so I did a poor job of providing enough space between the views. This is way too close together. All right, and later on I'll show you how to add more space between the views when we start dimensioning and putting measurements in between the views. All right, so there's our green center line. Now let's draw our red hidden lines representing the hole. Okay, so from the left quadrant of the hole, goes straight up and it goes all the way through. Click, right click, enter. Same thing on the other side. Go to the right quadrant of the hole in the front view, go straight up. And there it is, and right click, enter. So there's our hole. Okay, now we're missing some object lines here on the top view. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm gonna double click to do a zoom fit. There it is. All right, so we're missing some object lines here. Let's take a look at the 3D model once again. So let me turn on edges. So we do not draw this tangent line, but we do draw a line representing this surface, which also happens to line up with this edge, right? So we're gonna draw a visible line, a white visible object line to represent that surface that's highlighted in green. And we also need this visible line representing the thickness of this rib or stiffener, okay? Okay, so let's draw this one first. Actually, no, let's draw this one first. Let's draw this edge first, and then we'll come back and draw this one. All right, so, okay, so the thickness of that rib or flange here, we can just borrow it from the side view. Okay, so let's go to the visible object layer, use the line command. Okay, so the thickness of that rib, here it is on the side view, we can just follow along, go straight up, hit the 45, and go across. And where do we stop? Well, it's the same one that we drew earlier. Remember when we used that tangent option? So it lines up with this point here, the tangent point of where the rib touches the arc. Okay, so we know we're going to stop here and click and right click, enter. Okay, so let me go ahead and delete this line, pencil eraser, and I'm going to shorten this object line. Okay, there it is, and hit escape to deselect. And once again, we do not draw this tangent line. Okay, so there's a tangent point here. In the top view, it'll look like a tangent line, but we do not draw it because once again, it's not a sharp edge. It's a smooth transition going from a flat surface to a cylindrical surface. Okay, so now we're missing the object line. It's going to come from this bottom corner or for this surface here, going back to the 3D model. Okay, so we need to represent this surface. So the object line we're about to draw will represent this surface and also this edge. So you can see there it is, right? But it's not supposed to represent this tangent line. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so let's use the line command, visible white object layer, and from this bottom corner, we're gonna go straight up till it hits the rib. And there it is, and right click, enter, and now we can shorten it. Select it and use the grips to shorten it to the correct length. And there it is. Okay, let me hit escape to deselect and turn off the construction layer. I think we're done. Okay, so once again, do not use green center lines going from one view to another. You cannot use one going all the way across. They have to be kept separate. I just did a poor job of providing enough space in between the views. All right, so by the way, if the spacing is too tight and it's bothering you, you can always left mouse click and hold. Oh, I was trying to lasso the right side view, but I messed up. Let me try it again. Left mouse click. And I'm going to lasso around the entire side view. So if you want, you can always move it outward. Make sure you have ortho on, so it only moves horizontal or vertical. And then we can use the move command. So here's the move command up here. So if I needed more space, I can always move it over, right? Same thing with the top view. Okay, so if I want a window capture, I double click on the left button on the mouse, but hold the button, double click and hold. Look, I misclicked, double click, there it is. Double click and hold the left button on the mouse. I can select this and we're going to move it vertically, right? It has to stay in line with the front view. Okay, you can provide more space. Okay, hit escape to deselect. And now if you want to increase the length of your green center lines, go for it. Okay, let me double click to do a zoom fit. There it is. Okay, so now LTS, right? Somebody, hey teacher, LTS. All right, LTS. Not as easy as 1, 2, 3. So right now it's at 1. Let's go, let's try 0.5. 0.5. So I'm just guessing here, just like you guys. And in 3, 2, 1, don't blink, enter. And that's a lot better, right? And if you want to change them individually, you can always pre-select the lines you want to change the LTS on. If you think these red hidden lines are just way too tight for the gaps, first select them, right? And then you right click and go to properties, right click properties. And here on the window on the left, go to LTS, line type scale, click inside the line where we have line type scale 1, click inside. And let's increase it. I don't know, let me try 2. Let's see what happens. 2. And then click away, click anywhere, just click away in 3, 2, 1. Keep an eye on the red hidden lines, click away. Notice it increased the gaps. So if you want to go further more, let's try 3. And click away. And you can see the red hidden lines adjust to our new line type scale and close it once you're done. Okay, hit escape to deselect. Okay, looks good. Now, teacher, what about here? The visible object line is supposed to overwrite the red hidden line, and that is correct. So you have 2 options. You can either shorten this red hidden line, right? Shorten it. That's a clean way, easy way to, even though we know the red hidden line represents the hole going all the way through. So actually it's supposed to go all the way to the back, right? Front to back. That represents the circular hole. You can leave it this way, or you can go back and extend it the full depth of the part. And we can just send it to the back. So make sure it's selected, then you right click, go to draw order, and send it to the back. And there it is. Okay, double click to do a zoom fit. And I think we're done with this problem. Let's take a look at the answer key. We're going to cheat. Here's the answer key. And we got it all. There it is. And once again, you do not draw the tangent lines, right? Don't draw the tangent lines. Okay, so we're done. Go ahead and save our work. Save as. Initials. And once again, there's no due date. All right, so end of video.